All right, let's dive into something pretty wild. A corner of the internet that's getting more and more surreal every day. We're talking about AI influencers.
Okay, let me ask you something. Think about the last influencer you scrolled past on your feed. You saw their face, right? Maybe you liked their style or even clicked the link they shared. But what if I told you that that person, well, they aren't a person at all?
Yep, you heard that right. We're talking about a whole new wave of social media stars. These are people who were born, they were built, literally designed pixel by perfect pixel to look, act, and feel so incredibly real that you could scroll right past and never, ever know the difference.
And look, this isn't some tiny niche trend we're talking about. No way. This is a full-blown booming industry. We are literally watching the rise of a brand new kind of celebrity, one that doesn't walk red carpets, but exists entirely in code.
So let's get specific. What is an AI influencer exactly? Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a super advanced digital puppet. It's a character created on a computer, but it's crafted with so much detail from the way they look all the way down to their unique personality to perfectly mimic a real person on social media.
And you gotta know, this isn't just some cool art project. Oh no. The end game here is pure business. These digital creations are engineered from the ground up with one goal in mind: build a massive audience and, you guessed it, secure those big money brand deals.
Okay, so that probably has you wondering, how does this even happen? How do you go from, a blank computer screen to a full-fledged digital celebrity? Well, it might actually be easier than you think. Let's break down the steps.
First things first, you need the right tools. You'd start by picking a platform, something like acool.com, which gives you the basic building blocks. Then comes the fun part. You get to design how your avatar looks, their whole vibe. And then, to really bring them to life, you generate a unique voice for them and program all their actions and expressions. That's what makes them feel truly interactive.
Okay, so you've got this awesome-looking avatar. That's great. But making people actually care about a bunch of pixels? Now that is the real trick. This next part is about so much more than just the visuals. It's about creating a soul.
It really all boils down to this one simple idea. The tech is what builds the body, sure, but it's the storytelling that builds the soul. Without a personality that feels real, an AI influencer is just a digital mannequin. To get people to connect, to really connect, they have to feel like there's a person in there.
So how do you do that? Well, it's almost like you're writing a movie character. You have to build out their entire persona. We're talking a unique backstory. What are their values? What's their tone of voice like? What are they into? Why are they even on social media in the first place? Every single one of these details has to be consistent. That's what makes the character feel authentic and what gets people hooked.
All right, so we've got the tech, we've got the personality, but how does all this creative work actually, make money? Because all of it, every bit of design, every line of backstory, it's all pointing towards one thing: turning those pixels into profit.
And that's really the engine driving this entire industry. The whole game is to create a personality so magnetic and build an audience so engaged that brands are basically knocking down the door to work with them.
So what do these brand deals actually look like? Well, it's stuff you've definitely seen before. We're talking sponsored posts, digital products, even full-on brand ambassadorships. It's basically the standard influencer playbook. Just, the star of the show isn't human.
So all of this brings up a massive question, right? As these digital people get more and more realistic, what does that mean for the future of influence? How do they stack up against actual humans?
When you look at it side by side, the difference is pretty stark. If you're a brand, an AI influencer has some killer advantages. They're available 24/7. They'll never go off script or cause a scandal, so they're perfectly brand safe. And you can scale them globally in an instant. The big trade-off? Authenticity. That's the million-dollar question. Can a perfectly crafted personality ever truly compete with a genuine one?
And here's the thing. As the tools to create these influencers get easier for everyone to use, that line between what's real and what's virtual is just going to get blurrier and blurrier. You know that creepy uncanny valley feeling you get from AI that's almost human but not quite? Well, that valley is shrinking fast. Soon, it's going to be incredibly hard to tell who's real and who's just really good code.
And that leaves us with one last big idea to chew on. When literally anyone can build the perfect personality, someone who's always on brand, never says the wrong thing, never makes a mistake, what does that do to the very idea of influence? And maybe more importantly, who even gets to be an influencer anymore?